So good evening, students. Welcome in new lecture of Math F113, Probability and Statistics. In last class, we have covered the following topics: normal approximation to binomial distribution, normal approximation to Poisson distribution, and we have taken the idea of the gamma function. So here, always we have to take care about the half unit correction. In the gamma function, we have seen the gamma of alpha is the special function which we define as a integral 0 to infinity, right? X to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x into dx. And from here, we know the result gamma of alpha is equal to, for alpha greater than 0, gamma of alpha is equal to alpha minus 1, gamma of alpha minus 1, gamma of 1 is equal to 1, gamma of half is equal to root pi, and gamma of alpha is equal to factorial of alpha minus 1 when alpha is integer, right? When alpha is positive integer, then we have this. So these results we have seen in last class. Now this is the gamma function. The basics of the gamma function I have told you, because we have to study the gamma distribution. So next is the gamma distribution. So gamma distribution is again the particular type of the continuous random variable or continuous distribution. So a continuous random variable x is said to have gamma distribution if the PDF is given by, fx alpha comma beta is equal to 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha x to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x upon beta and x greater than equal to 0. So here we have the alpha greater than 0 and beta, alpha and beta both must be the positive. So where the parameter alpha beta satisfy alpha greater than 0, beta greater than 0. From this, we can make a special distribution known as the standard gamma distribution when we assume beta is equal to 1. So when we assume the beta is equal to 1, so there is only the alpha as a parameter. So the PDF of the standard gamma random variable will become, means if you take this as a 1, this if you put as a 1, so here we have the 1 upon gamma of alpha, right? 1 upon gamma of alpha, and here we have the e to power minus alpha minus 1 and e to power minus x upon minus x. So here you can say alpha greater than 0 and x greater than 0. So this is the standard gamma distribution. Now, so just by seeing the formula, we cannot believe that it is the PDF. For being the PDF, we have to check the necessary and sufficient condition, right? So here to check the necessary and sufficient condition for being PDF, because it gamma of alpha is always positive, beta to power alpha is always positive because beta and alpha both are the positive, and we have the exponential function. So here we have taken x greater than 0, alpha greater than 0, and beta greater than 0. So due to this assumption, what we can say, the fx is greater than equal to 0 for all x. Then after, we have to prove that whether its integration for all limit will be the 1 or not. So here what we have considered, we have considered alpha, we have considered the gamma distribution fx with parameter alpha beta. So here we have the PDF for the gamma distribution. So we have just seen for the all x greater than 0, alpha greater than 0, and beta greater than 0, fx greater than equal to 0, because it has the exponential function. Now we have to prove the whether its integration for complete limit of x is equal to 1 or not. So for that, what we have taken here, we are taking the integration 0 to infinity 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha x to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x upon beta into dx. Means what we are doing? We are doing the 0 to infinity fx into dx, right? Fx into dx. So to make this integration easier, what we will do? We make this substitution. Let x upon beta is equal to t. So when the x upon beta is equal to t, it implies x is equal to beta into t and dx is equal to beta into dt. So when we substitute in the given integral, so our integral will transform into 0 to infinity, right? Our integral transform into 0 to infinity 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha. Now in place of the x we put beta into t, so beta into 2 to power alpha minus 1, and in place of the x upon beta we will put the t, so e to power minus t, and in place of the dx we will put beta into dt. So what is the benefit? Here in the numerator also now we have the beta to power alpha, and in the denominator already we have the beta to power alpha. So this beta to power alpha and beta to power alpha will cancel out. So here we have 1 upon gamma of alpha, right? T to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus beta into d theta. So 1 upon gamma of alpha is constant, right? So you can take outside the integral, and here integral will be the t to power alpha minus 1 and e to power minus t into dt. So what is this integral? This integral is nothing, it is the gamma of alpha. Last time we have proved this, or we have defined this, right? We have defined this. So gamma of alpha upon gamma of alpha, that is equal to 1. So now you can say that fx is equal to fx is the PDF. Now this implies that fx is PDF, because it satisfies the both necessary and sufficient condition for being PDF. So here, after seeing that given function is a PDF, so for the different values of alpha and beta, we can see the graph of the graph of the PDF fx, right? So here for the different values of the alpha and beta, we have the following graph. So some are continuously decreasing, some are for some time it is increasing then decreasing, and you can observe that here the graph is not symmetric about any particular line. And here on this side we have the graph of the standard distribution. Gamma standard distribution means we for all we are assuming that beta is equal to 1. Beta is equal to 1. So here for the different values of the alpha we have the following graphs. So here you can see here also when we have alpha greater than 5, right? When we have the alpha greater than 5 1, alpha greater than 1, then graph is first rise then decrease. So we have the shape of the PDF for the gamma variate. So here for the standard PDF, when alpha less than equal to 1, fx is strictly decreases, right? Decreasing. It is strictly decreasing as you increase the value from x, right? But when alpha greater than 1, so you have seen for the alpha is equal to 2 and alpha is equal to 5, so this fx alpha first rise, right? Then achieve the maximum, then start decreases. So here the parameter beta is called the scale parameter, because you can see for the different values of the beta, we have the shape. So that's why it is known we have the scale right? Means we can see that curve is either means either the confined one or it is the enlarged one. So here scale parameter, because the value other than 1 either stretch or compress the PDF in x direction. So here you can see, right, for the different values of the beta, either we have the stretched graph or we have the compressed graph. That's why we call it as a scale parameter. Then naturally, you know that if we are talking for the random variable
Sir,
x, which follow the yes,
so can you explain the stretch and compress part?
actually here you can see, right, for the alpha is equal to 2, right, alpha is equal to 2 and alpha is equal to 2, when we have the beta is equal to 1 by 3 and beta is equal to 2. So if you observe, so here we have the shape, right? So say means it is the compressed one, it is compressed one, but it is the stretch one. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So beta define whether the pdf whether the pdf is of stretch one or the compressed one in x direction. Now, as you know, presently we are studying continuous random variable x name, right, gamma distribution. So when we are talking for any random variable, always we try to determine its expected value. So here let x be a gamma random variable with parameter alpha and beta. Then the mgf for x is given by mxt is equal to 1 minus beta t to power minus alpha. E of x is equal to alpha beta. V of x is equal to alpha beta square. So you know that what is the mxt? Mxt is one kind of the expectation. So it is given to you, x follow gamma distribution with parameter alpha and beta. So its PDF fx is equal to what? 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, x to power alpha minus 1, e to power minus x upon beta. And here we have the x greater than 0, alpha greater than 0, and beta greater than 0. Now we have to compute the mxt. So mxt is what? It is the expectation. So expectation of e to power tx. So by definition, it will become integral 0 to infinity e to power tx into fx into dx. So just you put the value of the fx. So it will become integral 0 to infinity e to power tx 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, x to power alpha minus 1, e to power minus x upon beta into dx. So that can be written the 0 to infinity 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, x to power alpha minus 1, and e to power tx and e to power minus x upon beta can be written e to power minus 1 upon beta minus t into x. Now main thing, this bracket must be positive, right? This bracket must be the positive. Then only e to power minus infinity will be the 0, right? So 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, x to power alpha minus 1, e to power minus 1 upon beta minus t into x. So here for integration, we assume the following substitution: 1 upon beta minus t into x as a z. So this will give you z is equal to 1 minus beta t into x upon beta. Clear this part? So x can also be written as z into beta upon 1 minus beta t. X can be written as z beta upon 1 minus beta t. So dx will become beta dz, right? Dx will become beta dz upon 1 minus beta t. So now you substitute in place of 1 upon beta minus t into x as a z. So here here integration will reduce to integral integral 0 to infinity. Now here when we substitute, right, so 1 upon beta 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha, so 1 upon beta into gamma of alpha, then x to power alpha minus 1. So what is the x? X is the z beta upon 1 minus beta t. So it will become beta to power alpha minus 1 z to power alpha minus 1 upon 1 minus beta to power alpha minus 1. Then then we have e to power e to power. Now this bracket we have assumed as a z, so it will become, right, e to power minus z. It will become e to power minus z, and in place of the dx, in place of the dx, we write beta dz, right? From here we can write beta dz upon 1 minus beta t. So when we combined all these, so in the numerator, in the denominator we have 1 minus beta t to power alpha, right? Means here we have the alpha minus 1 and here we have the 1, so it will become 1 minus beta to power alpha, then gamma of alpha and gamma of alpha, and here beta to power alpha minus 1, and this beta will cancel with this beta to power alpha. So in the integral we have 0 to infinity e to power minus z, z to power alpha minus 1. And what is this integral? This integral is the gamma function. So that can be written as gamma of alpha. So as you write it gamma of alpha, it will become the this you can cancel, gamma of alpha will cancel with the gamma of alpha. So here we have 1 upon 1 minus beta t to power alpha. But for this integral, what is the condition? This condition I have written here, it must be the positive, right? 1 upon beta minus t must be positive. So this will imply t, right, t should be less than 1 upon beta, then only you can determine this. So here when we are writing the mgf, always we have to write the condition when the mgf is defined. So here the mgf is the function of t, right, where t must be less than 1 upon beta. So here, so it's easy, right? So here we have derived the mgf 1 minus beta t to power minus alpha, and from the mgf you know how to compute the expectation and the variance. So here we have ex is equal to what? Ex is by definition from the mgf. From the mgf you know how to compute the expectation of x. It is the dy dt of mxt at t is equal to 0. So what is the mxt? Mxt is 1 upon 1 minus beta t to power alpha, or simple 1 minus beta t power minus alpha. So here it can be written, its first derivative can be written as minus alpha, then 1 minus beta t power minus alpha minus 1, then minus beta, right? So at t is equal to 0. So when we put t is equal to 0, so bracket will become 1, 1 to power minus alpha minus 1, that is the 1. So minus alpha into minus beta will give you alpha beta. So here the ex is equal to alpha beta. Then after the second derivative, you can compute how e of x square. So e of x square means second derivative. So it will be the d2 by dt2 of mxt at t is equal to 0. So first derivative already we have computed as a minus alpha 1 minus beta t power minus alpha minus 1 into minus beta. It's one. Now if you take the derivation one time more, so dy dt of this will give you the second derivative. So right? So after taking the derivation and putting the t is equal to 0, right? Putting t is equal to 0 means here what you will get from here, second derivative, if you write minus alpha minus 1 minus beta to the power minus alpha minus 1 minus 1 into minus beta into minus beta. So there is the 2 times minus beta. So here acha theek hai. earlier we have written this alpha beta. So it is the alpha beta bracket minus alpha minus 1 into minus beta. So this will give you alpha into alpha plus 1 into beta square. So that is what E of x square. And we know that what is the computational formula for computing the variance. So variance of x is what? It is the E of x square minus square of square of ex. So both value you have alpha into alpha plus 1 into beta square minus square of alpha beta. So it will become, right, it will become alpha square beta square plus alpha beta square minus alpha square beta square. So these and these will cancel out. So here we have alpha beta square. So that is the variance of x. So here we have the derivation of variance of x for the where x is gamma variate with parameter alpha beta. So
Sir,
has some doubt?
sir, can you tell why it was positive?
Can,
Why it was positive? You,
pardon, I'm not getting why.
sir, you said no, that condition.
Acha, acha, condition. Actually, when we do na e to power minus infinity, so when it will be the infinity, when x is the positive. If x is the negative, so it will become e to power infinity. So that is the infinity, na. But e to power minus infinity is what? It is the 0. Then only you can define, right? Means here we have the graph like this, right? Here we have the graph like this. So at the infinity it will meet the x-axis, means fx is equal to 0. So that is possible only when we have the e to power minus of positive, then only it is possible.
Okay, sir.
So here we have the derivation of the mxt, then for the mean and variance. So as I have shown you earlier also, for the different values of the alpha and beta, here we have I have taken this example from the net, means this graph from the net. So here we have the parameter k and theta. So just for your reference, I have written here. So for the different values of the k theta or alpha beta, we have the following shape. So here you can see, right, we have the more, for the more combination we have this graph, and this is the shape of the CDF. So here also you can notice all the graphs are non decreasing. So here few concluding point you can infer from the present study. Alpha and beta both play role in determining mean and variance of the random variable. Means here both are important, because this is what? Alpha into beta. And what is the variance? Variance is the alpha beta square. So here alpha and beta both will play a role in giving the value of the mean and variance. Curves are not symmetric. You have seen we have the either the decreasing curve, or let first increase then decreasing curve. But whatever the shape, right, but it is not symmetric and located entirely on the right of the vertical axis. So located entirely on the right of the vertical axis. For alpha greater than 1, the maximum value of the density occur at the point x is equal to alpha minus 1 into beta. So you have seen, I have told you, for the for the alpha greater than 1, we have the shape first rise then decrease. So the maximum value lie at the alpha minus 1 into beta, when at the x is equal to alpha minus 1 into beta for the fx. So here, so mean and variance for the random variable x having the gamma distribution are, so already we have defined, but if the question arises how to define the mean and variance by the definition. So by definition, what is the basic formula? So E of x means 0 to infinity x into fx. It is the general formula. For the continuous random variable, we use the integration. For the discrete random variable, we use the summation. So integral 0 to infinity x into fx into dx. What is the fx for the gamma variate? So x into 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, gamma of alpha, and x to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x upon beta dx. So 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, you can write outside the integral. Now integral will be the 0 to infinity x to power alpha. Now here we have the x and here we have the x to power alpha minus 1. So that can be written as x to power alpha e to power minus x upon beta. So in all, you can notice we assume this, whatever the power of exponential function, right? That we assume as a t. So x upon beta is equal to t. So this will give you x is equal to beta into t and dx is equal to beta into dt. So when we resubstitute in place of the x, we put beta into t, right? Beta into t, and in place of the dx, we put beta into dt. So here it will give you the 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, 0 to infinity, beta t to power alpha, e to power minus t, beta into t. So what is the advantage in the from this? You can take beta to power alpha plus 1 as a out of integral. So 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, beta to power alpha plus 1 integral 0 to infinity t to power alpha e to power minus t, right? E to power minus t dt. So t to power alpha can be written as t to power alpha can be written as, right, alpha plus 1 minus 1, right? It can be written as alpha plus 1 minus 1. So that only I have written here. So 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, beta to power alpha plus 1 integral 0 to infinity t to power alpha plus 1 minus alpha plus 1 minus 1 e to power minus t dt. So now what is this bracket? This is the gamma function. It is the standard gamma function. So it is nothing, it is equal to the gamma of alpha plus 1, right? It is the gamma of alpha plus 1. So 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, beta to power alpha plus 1, gamma of alpha plus 1. And this gamma of alpha plus 1 can be written as alpha into gamma of alpha. Since you know, I have written earlier, gamma of alpha is equal to what? It is the alpha minus 1, gamma of alpha minus 1. So just in place of the alpha, you write the alpha plus 1. So it will become 1 upon beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, beta to power alpha plus 1, and gamma of alpha plus 1 can be written as alpha into gamma alpha. So gamma of alpha is cancel out, beta to power alpha, beta to power alpha cancel out. So here we have the alpha into beta. So in this way, you can define, you can derive, right, the mean of gamma variate by definition. Now, if you have to determine the second moment, so second moment means e of x square, right? Here we are computing the second moment because we know that for the computation of variance, we require the second moment. So E of x square, that by definition, integral over x, because x is the continuous random variable, of x square fx into dx. So just you put the value of the x square. So integral 0 to infinity x square, now 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha x to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x upon beta into dx. So what I have told you, always, always whatever the power of exponential function other than minus, because that other than minus we have want, that must be the positive. So x upon beta is equal to t. It means x is equal to bt and dx is equal to beta into dt. So when we substitute, so here you will get, so when we substitute, uh, right, so here what you will get, integral 0 to infinity, in place of the x what we have to put, beta t. So it will be the beta t square 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha x to power alpha x to power alpha minus 1 means beta t to power alpha minus 1, and e to power, here we take the minus t, right, minus t into beta dt into beta dt. So in total it will become beta into t power alpha plus 1, right, upon 1 to power 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha e to power, right, e to power minus t into beta into dt. So you can take 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha, right, gamma of alpha and beta to power alpha plus 2, right, beta to power alpha plus 2 means alpha plus 1 from here and beta 1 from here. So beta to power alpha plus 2 out of the integral, and here the integral will remain as a 0 to infinity t to power alpha plus 1 e to power minus t into dt. So t to power alpha plus 1, so this alpha plus 1 can be written as alpha plus 2, right, this can be written as alpha plus 2 minus 1. So this will become 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha beta to power alpha plus 2, right, integral 0 to infinity e to power alpha plus 2 minus 1 e to power minus t. So what is the advantage? This is the famous gamma function. So that can be written as gamma of alpha plus 2, and this gamma of alpha plus 2, gamma of alpha plus 2 can be written as alpha plus 1 gamma of alpha plus 1, and this gamma of alpha plus 1 can be written as, right, alpha gamma of alpha. So here we have written 1 upon beta to power alpha gamma of alpha beta to power alpha plus 2, and gamma of alpha plus 2 can be written as alpha plus 1 alpha into gamma of alpha. So gamma of alpha and gamma of alpha cancel out, beta to power alpha and beta to power alpha will cancel out. So here we have alpha into alpha plus 1 into beta square, and you know the computational formula for the variance. So e of x square minus square of ex, so it will become alpha into alpha plus 1 into beta square minus square of alpha beta. So that will give you the value alpha beta square. It means this is nothing, this is the variance of the gamma variate. So as I have told you, uh, now we when we take the beta is equal to 1, it is the standard gamma distribution, right, for the different values of the alpha. So in our book we have the cdf table for the standard gamma distribution, means for all we have to consider beta is equal to 1 for all x which follow the gamma distribution. So that for that we are considering only the one parameter, that is the alpha, and we are fixing beta is equal to 1. So we have the CDF of the gamma standard gamma distribution in our book. So in that case, what is the CDF? We have to compute what is the meaning of the CDF. It is the probability x less than equal to x, means you have to integral up to that point from the initial point. So integral 0 to x of the fx. What is the fx? Right? X to power alpha minus 1 e to power minus x upon gamma of alpha with respect to x. So this integral is also known as the incomplete gamma function, or sometimes incomplete gamma function without denominator of gamma of alpha in the integrand. So sometimes without this also we write. So means a closed form formula we haven't. Closed form formula for the CDF of gamma variate we cannot compute. So we have only the numerical value of the CDF for the particular values of alpha and for some x. So in the table A.4, we have CDF of the gamma distribution for the different values of alpha for different x or gamma observation. So now question arises, how we can determine for the normal or general, right, or simple x gamma variate. We have the table only for the beta is equal to 1. But if beta is not equal to 1 in our question, how we can determine? So what we have to do? We have to modify the given simple gamma variate to the standard gamma variate. So here the incomplete gamma function can also be used to compute the probabilities involving non-standard gamma distribution. These probability can also be obtained almost instantaneously from various software packages. So if we nowadays there is no problem, right? Because we have the table or we have the computer or software. So in that directly you can put what is the alpha, what is the beta, and it gives directly answer. But if table is means if software is not available, then we consider only the, right, then we have the limitation of the pages. So for all the betas we cannot write the table. That's why we have to define the standard gamma distribution. So here let x have the gamma distribution with parameter alpha and beta. Means here this x is nothing. This is the non-standard gamma distribution or gamma variate. Then for any x, CDF is given by the uh, probability x less than equal to x. By definition, it means it is a capital F at the point x. So that is equal to f of x upon beta. Means in from the all observed value, if you divide by the beta, so it will convert into the standard gamma variate. So x upon beta for the parameter alpha only. So here it is written f is nothing, it is the incomplete gamma function. So now for any combination of the alpha beta, you can determine the required CDF. So let us have this question from your book. Let x have standard gamma distribution with alpha is equal to 7. Only alpha is given, and here it is written that beta standard gamma distribution. So when it is given to you standard gamma distribution, always you have to assume beta is equal to 1. So when we have the beta is equal to 1, so here now you have to determine probability x less than equal to 5. So please for one time you see the table, because in exam we have seen you are not able to determine the value. So here x less than equal to 5, it means it is the CDF at 5 for the alpha is equal to 7. So simple, directly we have the table in your book, right? So its value is the 0.238. Now if you have to compute x probability for x less than 5, So for the continuous random variable, point probability is equal to 0. So these two are the equal, right? These two are equal. So here probability x less than equal to 5 is nothing. It is the probability x less than equal to 5. So just now we have computed here. So here you can put. Then after, probability x greater than 8. So probability of x greater than 8. So since it is the point, we are talking for the point probability. So 1 minus probability of x less than 8. So it is the 1 minus CDF at 8 for alpha is equal to 7. So its value you can see from the table, and by the algebra, right, you will get the required probability 0.313. Then after, find the probability for the x lie between 3 to 8, both inclusive. So it is the f of 8 for alpha is equal to 7 minus f of 3, right? You know how to compute, so I'm not going in detail. So f of 8 minus f of 3. So both value you can write from the table, and their algebra will give you the required probability 0.653. So since point probability is equal to 0, so whether you take is equal to or you are not taking is equal to, whether you take is equal to or if you are not taking is equal to, we have the same value of probability 0.653. Now find the probability of x less than 4 or x greater than 6. So it will be what? It is equal to 1 minus x lie between 4 to 6. And this can be written as f of b minus f of a. So that is the f of 6 minus f of 4 for alpha is equal to 7. Right. So generally, if you write here, then there is no chance of the mistake. For what values of the alpha, we have to see the table, because there we have the CDF for the various values of the alpha. So you have to take care for what value of the alpha you are seeing the table. So the required probability will come the 0.713. Suppose the time spent by the randomly selected student who uses the terminal connected to local time sharing computer facility has gamma distribution with mean 20 minute and variance 80. So in this case, when mean is given to you, it means it is the alpha into beta, and variance is given to you, it means this is the alpha beta square. What are the values of the alpha beta? What is the probability that student uses the terminal for at most 24 minutes, and what is the probability that student spends between 20 and 40 minutes using the terminal? So first, it is given to you that the time follow the gamma distribution. It means it is a non-standard gamma distribution. So here let x follow x follow the gamma distribution with unknown alpha and beta. These things you have to determine. So but one information is given to you, mu is equal to 20. So mu is equal to 20 means alpha beta is equal to 20, and here we have the variance is equal to 80 means alpha beta square is equal to 80. So if you take, right, if you divide by the alpha beta, it means you divide by the 20. So this will implies beta is equal to, right, this will implies beta is equal to 4. Now when we put beta is equal to 4, so it will give you alpha is equal to 5. So now you can say x follow gamma distribution with alpha is equal to 5 and beta is equal to 4. Now, most important part, when we have to compute the time spent is at most 24, means x must be less than equal to 24. Now here this x is what? It is a non-standard gamma distribution. Means here we haven't the beta is equal to 1. So it is a non-standard. So what I have told you, when we have to compute the fx, right? Or you can say f of 24, f of 24 for alpha is equal to, right, alpha is equal to 5. So in this, alpha is equal to 5 and beta is equal to 4. So what I have told you, that can be written in terms of the standard gamma, in terms of the standard gamma variate. For that, what you have to do, just we have to divide the x by the beta, right? Here we have to write the beta, here we have the x. So observed value of the x is the 24 and beta we have computed as a 4 for the alpha. So it will become f of 6 at alpha is equal to 5. So table value is the 0.715. Similarly, when x lie between 20 and 40, so 20 and 40 means, if you divide by the, right, if you divide it by the variance, or not variance, in by the beta, right, by beta here, if by beta, so this will become the standard gamma. This will become gamma standard gamma for, let's say it is the 4 and it is 4. So for 10, and here we have the 5. So here we have to compute the standard gamma for the 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 for given alpha beta. Clear? So here, so alpha is what? Alpha is equal to 5. So that 5 we have written here. So when we now we can have see the table of standard gamma. So here we have the required value 0.411. So in continuous of the gamma distribution, we have another important distribution known as the exponential distribution. So it is nothing. It is a special case of the gamma distribution, right? Just you have to put alpha is equal to 1, right? You will get the PDF for the exponential distribution. What is there? We have the beta to power alpha, gamma of alpha, x to power alpha minus 1, and e to power minus x upon beta. So that is the PDF for the gamma distribution. But I am telling you, just you put the alpha is equal to 1. Alpha is equal to 1. Alpha is equal to 1. Just you put alpha is equal to 1. So x to power 0 is 1, and gamma of 1 is 1. So and here you put the beta, alpha is equal to 1. So what will is the remaining? It is will be the 1 upon beta e to power minus x upon beta in x upon beta. So here we have the PDF, right? 1 upon beta and e to power minus x upon beta. So for x greater than 0, always we define the exponential variate for the positive x, and beta greater than 0. Elsewhere it is 0. So this 1 upon beta, 1 upon beta also can be written as lambda. So 1 upon beta is equal to lambda, 1 upon beta is equal to lambda can also be written as fx is equal to lambda e to power minus lambda x for the x greater than 0 and beta greater than 0. If you are not taking the beta greater than 0, then 1 upon beta will create the problem at is equal to, and elsewhere it is 0. So always we have to consider the either the lambda greater than 0 or beta greater than 0. So here just you note down here, beta is nothing, it is the mean time. Later on when it will come, I will tell you again. And lambda is the mean rate. Lambda is mean rate, right? And always from here we know that lambda is equal to what? 1 upon beta, or beta is equal to what? 1 upon lambda. So I will tell you later on for means in detail what is the what is the meaning of the mean time and mean rate. So for the different values of the lambda, we have the following shape of the PDF. So you can see it is continuously decreasing from the initial maximum value. And here now, uh, So here we have to derive the CDF of the exponential distribution. So in next class we derive. Only I want to convey here. In next class I will derive this CDF. So what for the gamma distribution? For the gamma distribution with parameter alpha beta, we have mu is equal to alpha beta, and variance of x is equal to alpha beta square, and mxt moment generating function 1 minus beta t to power minus alpha. So just what we have to put for the exponential distribution? Exponential distribution is nothing, it is the gamma distribution plus alpha is equal to 1. So when alpha is equal to 1, so mu will become beta, right? Mu will become the beta, and variance of x will become beta square. Just you put alpha is equal to 1, alpha is equal to 1. And here when we put alpha is equal to 1, it will give you mxt, right? So it will give you 1 upon 1 minus beta t for t less than 1 upon beta. So this part, right? So this is the few things about the exponential variate. So in next class, tomorrow we have the class. So in tomorrow class we will continue. This time tomorrow as well as day after tomorrow is also a class,
Thank you, sir.
right? So these things we have drive.
Sir, when do we have class tomorrow?
At the same time, tomorrow is a Friday timetable.
Oh, okay, sir.
From the morning we have the Friday timetable.
Okay, sir.
Friday we have the Friday timetable. As on Thursday also we have the Friday timetable. Complete
Okay.
means for all subjects.
Okay, sir.